hands are part of the bat. I'm sorry. No, they're not. They're not part of the bat. And you always have guys saying, well, if you go to Big Five and buy a bat, does it come with a pair of hands? No. It just comes with the bat. Dead ball strike. A batter's attempting to hit the pitch. It could be inside, outside, wherever. It could be right over the plate, depending on where the batter's at. If he attempts to hit a pitch, by what? Swinging. He attempts to hit the pitch, could be inside. However, he attempts to hit the pitch and the ball hits his hands. Not the bat, hits his hands. It's a dead ball strike, which means the ball's dead. It could roll fair, but it's not a fair ball. It's a dead ball strike. That's all it is. Dead ball strike. We talked about dead ball earlier. What's a dead ball? Nobody can advance. Nobody can be put out. It's a dead ball strike.
So what would you call for just yell dead ball strike?
Yeah, you say dead ball strike. I mean, that's what it is.
Ball's dead.
If you've seen it, that's how you call it. A lot of times umpires don't see that. You rely on your partner, and you always hate to rely on the opposing coach, because sometimes they don't always tell you the truth for some reason. But if you see a kid attempting to hit a ball, hits his hands, who's going to be the first to know that?
Kid.
Exactly. He's either going to break down and say, oh, he start crying, or he's, it's a dead ball strike. That's all it is. Dead ball strike. Nobody can advance. Nobody can be put out. If it's the third strike, guess what we have? We have an out. That's all we have.
Okay, so in minors, I have part of the game for the minors. The kids don't know when they're about to get hit by a ball to swing back, but they move forward this way. Is that a strike? Their back kind of goes like
It's again the judgment of the umpire. If he's attempting to get out of the way, it's not a strike.
Okay. So if they're attempting to get out of the way, it's fine. If they turn like to swing, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, even in majors or seniors or juniors, if the umpire sees that, if they see the kid's gonna, because sometimes they think the kid's throwing a curveball, when the kid don't even know how to throw a curveball, he just throws it inside, and they think it's gonna break, and all of a sudden, I can't call it, because he's not attempting to hit, he's attempting to get the hell out of the way. That's how I look at it. He's attempting to get out of the way. So how can I call it a strike? So the judgment, attempting to get out of the way, it's different than attempting to hit it. When he sits there in the box, and it doesn't cut in on him, but it hits us on the hand, we know he's attempting to hit it, so we have a dead ball strike. Just like in the box, inside pitch, Reggie Jackson gets hit, don't attempt to move out of the way, what do you have? I have a ball. That's all I have. I don't have a hit pitch. I have a ball. He has to attempt to get out of the way. Especially if you get some of these big 12-year-olds facing a 10-year-old pitcher, he doesn't throw 45, he throws 40 or 38 miles an hour, which is like a wiffle ball in the backyard. But, get back here. I had a ball. Coach comes out, unglued, hit him. I know. There was no attempt made to get out of the way. That's it. No attempt. Dead ball strike, hits the hands. Kid gets in the box. Down the middle, strike one. Gets out of the box. What's the umpire gonna do? Let him know. Stay in the box. Next time, I'm gonna strike. Okay. Next pitch, outside ball. Kid gets out of the box. Got a strike on the batter. You guys as coaches should know that. Got a strike. He cannot vacate the box. Unless what? He's forced to. Forced to. High inside pitch, throws him out of the box. Ball, pass ball, runner coming in home. Stuff like that. Common sense.
Foul ball?
Just a ball. There's no penalty. We don't
I'm
call
saying
it.
if he hits a foul ball.
Oh yeah, he can get out. Yeah. When high school first adopted that, batter's foot in the box, 1 foot in the box. I was coaching the Bloomington High School freshman team. We had an away game in Ukaipa. Ball inside and high. My batter fell on his back because that's all it was inside. Got up out of the box. Umpire goes, I got a strike. Time. You got a strike on how? He was out of the box. I said, I realized that. But the pitch forced him on his back. And when he got up, he was out of the box. He didn't get out voluntarily. He had to get out or else he'd get hit. Well, that's a new rule. I got a strike. Do you think I could argue with that umpire? What did I say? All right. It's your call. Walk back. Because I knew even if I attempted to keep arguing, you don't understand. My other coach was going to take over the game because I probably would have got ejected. Made me sit in the dugout with my hands on my lap and not say a word. But that's the thing. We have to understand what the rule is for. 1, speed the game up. 2, timeout, Blue. What's all that mean? Take. Take. Don't swing. That's all you got to tell them. You know, these are just kids. They go through all this. Take. I mean, it's, you know. So they want to keep the game going. No unnecessary timeouts. That's why the offense gets what? And you better make it a good one. That's all I tell you. Make it a good one. There's no reason to call timeout unless something's happening. But other than that, you can. Hey, Johnny, get a little bit bigger lead, Johnny. Catcher misses it, come to third. Well, you don't need to have signs for that. Call timeout. Just tell him. I learned that by verbally telling your offense what to do, it rattles the defense. Because now they think, I got to do this because he's going to do it. So now they're waiting for something to happen that may not even happen. So just tell them. Don't call timeout. Don't waste your time out on, hey, pass ball once you come to third, okay? All right. You're just wasting your time out, man. Just tell them verbally, hey, you know, be ready, Johnny. But batter in the box. Half swing. What do you call it?
Judgment.
Okay. Judgment. He always tells, he broke his wrist. Well, then you better call a doctor. I've never seen a thing in the book that says if the batter breaks his wrist, it's a strike. I must be reading that wrong all these years. Batter attempts to hit the pitch. It's a strike. It's a strike. You know, it's not. If he attempts to hit the ball and he attempts to hit it, it's a judgment. Did he go enough to hit the ball? Yeah. What I tell you guys earlier, never miss an opportunity to get an out. Never miss an opportunity to get a strike. If he's attempting to hit that ball and he doesn't hit it, you got a strike. I don't care if it's the ball's up here, down here. You need an 9-iron, Blue. I mean, you hear that all the time. You know, an attempt to hit the ball is a strike. That's all it is. There's no such thing as breaking the wrist, full swing, half swing. In your judgment, did he attempt? Yes. Boom. That's why the umpire behind the plate doesn't see him all the way. Did he go? Yes, he did. Boom. You know, it's that simple. So when you say he broke, don't ever tell the umpire, he broke his wrist. Because with their mask on, they're probably laughing. But no, he didn't attempt to hit it. In my judgment, there was no attempt to hit it. He wanted to, but he stopped his motion. Just like he said. Am I going to call that a strike? It's hard for me to call it a strike when the ball hits him in the shoulder and knocks him down. But parents get unglued, coaches get unglued, because we're trying to interpret the fairness. That's our job, is to make sure both sides are playing within the rules and both sides are treated fairly both ways. We're not there to showboat, we're not there to take the game away from the kids, and you guys aren't either as managers and coaches. Let the kids play. Make the changes. That's all you gotta do. Practice, make them run laps. Ground ball after ground ball after ground ball after ground ball, fly ball, whatever. But a game, that's where it pays off. Let them play the game. Don't worry about it, Johnny. We'll work on next practice. Don't browbeat the kid. He's already pissed because he made an error. Now he comes to the dugout and crying. Coaches don't care. They don't care. We have to care. Because if we start treating all our players like that, they're going to go to soccer. Because they had a bad experience in baseball. They're going to leave baseball. They're going to leave it. Why? I had fun, but man, that coach, man, he's always, you know. So they have a bad experience. They don't. You know how many adults I talk to? They're bringing their kids into this program for the first time, and they always tell me, "Yeah, I played Little League, but after majors or minors, I quit playing because the coach." The coach. They don't say I quit playing because I was no good. I quit playing because I had no competition. They quit playing because they had a bad experience with their coach. And they just quit. Went on to different things. Get married, have their own kids. Now they want their kids, 4, 5, 6, to experience Little League. Will their kids have an opportunity to have a bad experience? You bet they will. Will they have an experience to have an opportunity to have a good experience? You bet they will. That's why it's up to the board. You know, when you go to drafts, you got 8 returning players for one team. 6 of them don't want their kid on that team. Well, we must have a problem with the manager. Can't be all 6 kids. Because the other 2 kids are the coach's kids. So they're not going to play. That's my dad. But the other kids, I want to be traded. I don't want my kid on that team. I think we have a problem with the coaching staff. Maybe we need to reevaluate the coaches. And some leagues do that. Some leagues don't. So at the end of the season, you have returning players next year, they still don't want to go back. So you have an experience. But, you know, it's the good experience from the managers and coaches part, keep these kids in the program. They go from T-ball, coach pitch, minors, majors, intermediate, juniors, seniors. But I guarantee you, if they have a bad experience in the minors or anything, you won't see those kids in intermediate, juniors, or seniors. You won't. They'll be done with the program. So, batter in the box all times, 1 foot. Batter, ball 4. He's protected up to first base. He can overrun first base on ball 4. But he can't attempt to go to second, because if he does, he can be tagged out. You know, it's an old thing that runner's protected up to the base, but he is. He can overrun first base like that, go back on a ball 4. It's no big deal. But if he attempts to go to second, it's like anything else. Any attempt in the judgment of the umpire, he attempted, he can be tagged out. But they have to tag him. They can't touch the base. They have to tag him. So remember, it's ball 4. He's protected to the base. Can overrun it and come back. If he overruns it and takes a step towards second, he's eligible to be put out. So you have to remember that.
Jerry,
Ball.
for clarification, are they able to turn right or left as long as they don't make an attempt?
They can turn either way. Yeah, that's another thing that if he turn left, he's automatically no.
That's being intent.
But you know, I always say, hey, he can overrun first base. I said, yeah, but once he looked at second, he's out. I got an attempt to go to second. He looked over there. That's my judgment. It's like when you go to a stop sign. There's no cars coming. You guys roll through it, keep going. But I guarantee you, if there's cars coming, you're not gonna slow down and keep going because you don't know what those guys are gonna do. You're gonna stop. Correct? Stop. I mean, I always stop at all stop signs. But it's like when you overrun first base, you have the right to either turn left or turn right. We can't. Some of these kids are left-handed. We don't know how their brain thinks, lefties. But so automatically when they run to first base, being left-handed, they just turn. They just turn. But once they look, and to me, he just made it a 10. He better get his butt on that base or he's gonna get knocked out. Because I always say what? Never miss an opportunity to get an out. Don't cheat. But then again, he attempted. He attempted. Batters. Batter runner is out when? We talked about it, I think, the first part of it today. Batter runner is out when? Well, strike three, but batter runner is out
Forced out.
when an infield hit, stolen to first base, tagged before he gets there, he's out. Infield hit, interferes with a play, batter runner's out. Batter's out. Batters. Everybody wants to bat, nobody wants to play defense. Batters. Any other situations you can think of with the batter getting in the box?
Bases loaded, drop, third strike, 2 outs. Can they run first or are they out?
Everybody can run. 2 outs.
The batter, 2 outs.
2 outs, everybody can run. Less than 2, batter's out. Bases loaded, 2 outs, drop third strike, they can run. What's the catcher gonna do? Why?
Because it's a force.
Why?
It's loaded.
But why?
Because
The runner can't run.
it's safer than throwing.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it's easier, but I'm saying why is because the batter's not out. The batter is forcing everybody to run, so we have a force. Opposite of an infield fly roll, correct? Infield fly roll, batter's out, nobody has to run. You know, so bases open, bases occupied, 2 outs, drop third strike, everybody can run. Less than 2, base has to be open. If the first base is occupied with less than 2, drop third strike. Yeah. You know, it's personally, do I like that? No, I don't. But I always tell them, until they change this in the book, I have to abide by it. When they changed it in the book to a drop third strike, I thought it wasn't right. Only in the majors, only because these kids are still learning still. I don't care. They're 12 years old, they're on tournament. I don't care. They're still learning the game. They're not the Dodgers. They're not Angels. They're Little League. They're still learning. How many coaches in here have an intermediate team, junior or senior team? They're still learning. They're still learning. And I guarantee you, what they learn at this level, minors, majors, intermediate, juniors, they're going to take that with them when they try out for the freshmen. And I don't know if they still have a JV team, but freshmen, JV or varsity team. And if they're not taught the basic fundamentals, that's what the high school coaches are looking at. You know, they're looking at that. They're looking at basic fundamentals. I looked at players that were fast. Somebody that's fast. I can't teach them how to run fast. They have to know how to run fast. But if they have speed, I can teach them how to stop a ground ball, catch a fly ball, turn it and cut it, throw it to. I need somebody fast that's going to get to that ball that's in the middle, cut it off and throw it in. I can't teach a kid to run bases fast unless the kid is fast. I'll teach them how to run bases. I'll teach them how to cut in. I'll teach them. But I can't teach a kid that runs as fast as me to run faster. Can't teach that. So that's what I always look at. Potential. Not what he can do today, what I can maybe instill in him in a month from now to help the team. That's how you do it. Runners. We covered that a little bit. Runners are out when interference, tagged, forced, you know. Obstruction, we covered that. Like I said earlier, fake tags could be called an obstruction. Especially when you have a fake tag at second and you make the guy slide. It's obstruction. When the ball's down right field, it's obstruction. One is safety. Do we teach our kids how to slide properly? Probably not. Probably not. We're all adults. We've either played before, whether we learn how to slide properly when we were kids. But I guarantee you, there's not an adult in this room, or any room, that's gonna take a practice with 12-year-olds, 9-year-olds, juniors or seniors. So this is how you slide at second, and they're gonna run as fast as they can and slide to second base, because it's gonna take them a week to recover. So are they taught properly how to slide? No. No. So why would we wanna impede the runner with an obstruction on a fake tag, making this kid who doesn't really know how to slide because nobody taught him, and break an ankle, fracture a calf, do something.
What about like say like in the majors how they deke the runner on second? Like if they never go and do the fake tag, is it like not obstruction? Like if they act like they're going to get the ball but never go down to.
As long as they don't impede the runner by doing something that's not obstruction.
Okay.
I mean, you see it in the majors all the time where the ball's hit over the shortstop's head or second baseman's head, and the guy act like he got.
Yeah.
Did he up the runner? No. He's just trying to make a fake play, but he's not in front of the base making the guy slide. And one, he's between the runner and the base. And we said the base is whose? Both of them. But the ball's not there, so it belongs to the runner.
Okay.
Now, if the ball was there, the kid better slide, or avoid, you know.
There's no must slide. Okay,
So
so
the
you don't
kid,
have to.
no, I said the kid better slide or avoid. I didn't say the kid must slide.
Everything's there's a must slide.
No.
That's all.
Slide and or avoid.
No, there's no must slide rule, and if a league adopts that for their league rules, they're gonna open themselves up to a
Ain't gonna
lawsuit.
lose my house over it.
Yeah, because you know, if we make it mandatory that they must slide at each base and somebody gets hurt, the parents are gonna sue the league.
Right.
Because you already changed the playing rules, and that's not a playing rule.
We're on head first.
Head first slide.
Depends on what division you're talking about. Majors and below, no head first slide unless you're going back to the bag. Absolutely no head first slide. Unless you're going back.
The last time a head first slide was allowed was in 1995. That was the last year. If I don't know if anybody, is everybody in this room born in 95 or after that? In fact,
1895.
the World Series, Little World Series in 1995, when I umpired the championship game at first base. Taiwan played Spring, Texas for the championship. Taiwan beat them, I think, 17-4 or 18-4. The kid that scored the fourth run for Texas scored on a head first slide at home plate. And when he got up, you know, all that rules. That was the last time you ever seen it, because after that, there was no more head first slides in the league. Going back to a base, but not going forward.
What about like say if there's a play at home and like the base runner's running in, catcher has the ball and like doesn't avoid but just tries like to take out the catcher. What?
I have unsportsmanlike conduct, runners out, and removed from the game.
Alright.
Remember that. But I have tests in here that's gonna cover most of the stuff we talked about. So, hope you guys are taking notes.
Okay, this refers to softball. The girl hits the ball, runs to first base, grounds it, and plays the back and forth game. The ball's not in the circle yet, or, I mean, can they do that, or can they not do that?
They can do that.
They can go back and forth and punch.
The ball's in the circle.
Okay, but then the ball's in the circle, she has to go back, or?
Once the pitcher receives the ball, has control of the ball in the circle. At that point, that runner has choices to make. One, I better go to the next base, or two, I better get my butt back to this way, because if I hesitate, what I said earlier, never miss an opportunity to get an out. You know, that's it. And even when the pitcher has the ball in the circle, when the runner's at second, let's say, or first, pitches the ball, gets off the base, catcher throws the ball back to the pitcher. She doesn't have to go back immediately, but once the pitcher has control of the ball, she has a choice to make. Now, once that pitcher looks at her, her choice is extended. Her choice is extended. As long as the pitcher's doing this, she could be doing this all day long, and I've seen them do it.
In the circle?
Because the pitcher is,
Because she's making it.
she's getting baited and the pitcher's falling for it. Because sometimes she wants the ball. And it takes a second and runners take off. But once the ball is returned from the catcher, pitcher has it, they look at him like that and just go back. That girl has a choice to make at that point. Back or go. Now, if I was a coach of softball, if she was 6 feet off the bag, once the pitcher turns out and turns her back, what would I do? I might send my runner to second, which is perfectly legal. And then once that pitcher turns around like this, I have no more hesitation. That's removed. Now you got a pickle maybe, I don't know. But they're 6, 7, 8 feet off the bag. Pitcher gets the ball. They only got another 40 feet to run, 50 feet to run, whatever. They go back. I tell them that. They never know. There's no shortstop or no second baseman there. But once that pitcher turns around like this, I don't know if it's second. You know? Again, judgment. And the umpire's judgment, the girl had to go back to first. She hesitated. She's out. So.
Yeah, I got a question. No softball. I've been in situations, umpiring the ball. It's a one hopper, and the batter still hits it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In baseball, same with baseball. Same with baseball. Pitcher pitches the pitch, bounces in the dirt, bounces up, the batter hits a home run. We got a home run. Yeah, I mean, it's the ball's life.
All right.
You know. Same thing. I'm in the box. Guy throws a fastball, hits in front of the home plate up there. I go like that, hits me in the leg. What do I have? I got a hit pitch. There's nothing that says the ball has to be in flight to hit me. Nothing that the ball has to be in flight for me to hit it. As long as that ball's pitched from either the softball pitcher or baseball pitcher, bounces, poof, I can hit it. If it's fair, it's fair. If it's foul ball. But yeah, ball's live, you can hit it. Just like batter's in the box, pitcher pitches, takes a full swing, ball hits in front of the plate, goes out. What do you have? Depends on where it's touched, right? So if the ball's touching fair territory before it gets to first and second, we have a fair ball. Now, if the ball rolls out like that and rolls down first baseline, you know, some of these, you see them, how many times have you seen a ball?
Yeah.
And then it rolls foul. Then it stops or is touched. We got a foul ball. But remember, home plate, you see how it's backwards? People say it's backwards. Well, that's the way it is. It's not backwards. If you turn the other way around, it would be backwards. But home plate is in fair territory. Ball hits the plate. That's a fair ball. Bounces up. Catcher grabs it. Now it's a judgment. Where did he grab that ball? Was the ball spinning backwards? and here's the point of the plate right here, and did I catch it right here, which is clearly in foul territory. In the judgment of the umpire, it's a foul ball. I may be right here, but I caught it in the air over here. That's a fair ball. So when people say, it's a foul ball, hit the plate. Who cares? Who cares? Even if the foul ball hit in foul territory and rolled fair, what do you have? Fair ball if it's touched. You know, it depends on where the ball is when it's. So when people say it's a foul ball, hit the plate. No, it's not. If the field's properly marked, first and third come all the way down to the point of the plate. So the whole plate is in fair territory. Batter's in the box. Steps completely on the plate, hits the ball. What do you have? Fair or foul? Doesn't matter, huh? Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter if it's fair or foul. He hit the ball when his foot's completely on the plate. Any part of his foot, again, your judgment, because sometimes that front line's not there, believe me. So I'm just using my judgment where the line should be. But in your judgment, yeah, his front toes on the plate, because the line's only this far away from the plate. You see some of these 12-year-olds' foot? They're this long. So yeah, half of his foot can be on the plate. The other half's in the box. What do you have? I have nothing. You know. But he's got to be completely out of the box when he makes contact with the ball. Or out of the box when she makes contact with the ball. We got to cover both of them. So if it's completely out of the box, when they make contact, they're out. In the air, where do you know where a foot's at? You don't know where their foot's at. It has to be completely out of the box on the ground when contact is made. And that's up to the umpire's judgment. Might land it outside the box, but the contact was made before the foot came down. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I have one more piece.
you only got one more.
One more time.
You can have a new league in the outfield. The batter hit a home run, but the batter stepped out of the batter's box, and I'll batter out.
Did you call the batter out immediately?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got it out. I always tell them, if you don't call it immediately, don't call it, because don't call when the other coach comes out and says, this fool's out of the box. Oh, you're right. Because he may be lying to you. But if you see something and you call it immediately, nobody can argue. Nobody can argue. It's just like if you see an obstruction, the umpire yells, that's obstruction. You've already called it. You already see what's happening. Now you know that runner's safe to the next base. But if he goes beyond that, what? He's open territory. Could be put out. Could be safe again. But, you know, they want you to keep them safe all the way around the bases. Somebody out of the box, when you call them out, it's out. Whether it's a ground ball to the first base and they tag it, whether it's over the fence 300 foot, it's an out. If you call it immediately. But I always say, are you calling strikes and balls, or are you watching their feet?
Okay. That made the wrong call.
Yeah.
Correct?
You made the right call if you called him out if he's out of the box. You know? But I've umpired 40 years and I couldn't call a strike if watching the guy's feet to save my life. I couldn't. You know, and how many times do people say, watch his foot, Blue? So the umpire watches his foot. Next pitch, what was that? I don't know. You want me to watch his foot?
Done that.
So you cannot, you know, I mean, you see it, your peripheral vision, you pick up, the more you umpire, the more you see things, and you can see where the foot's at when they make contact. Because they already made contact, and you see, Jesus, this foot was way out there. Call it.
Can a base umpire call that as well?
He can, should he? No. Should he? No. Unless, again, softball. Because I don't see too many little leaguer baseball left-handers slapping the ball. But softball, man, those girls in the back, and they start running, and they got that down pat. Foot it right at the end of the batter's box, and boom, lay it down. but they're already half running full steam. Little leaguers can't do that. Baseball can't do that. But softball happens all the time. Now, should a base umpire call them out when they see that they're way out of the box? Yeah. Because why? They're taking advantage of running, because their box is what, 7? Not longer. They start running because they're in the back of the box all the way, and they see that pitch coming. They're already taking 2, 3 strides. Poof. And if you ever watched the College World Series, those girls got it down pat. You go to Little League tournament games or fast pitch, AYS, or all that stuff. There's a lot of them are out of the box. Did the umpires call it? No. What I call it, what I always say, never miss an opportunity, get it out. Yeah, they're learning, but they need to be coached better. They need to know where they're going to be in that box. Coaches say, if you're too far out, just let it go, because you're going to be called out if you hit it. But, you know, you made the right call if you call immediately. Coach assist. Runners on base, guys the ball in the alley. Waving all the runner. They're running on bases. So they're hoping somebody catches the ball and throws it in. Batter runner's rounding third. Coach realizes that the kid's not stopping, but the ball's already in the infield. The catcher has it. So the coach puts his arms out and stops the runner. What do you have?
Out.
Have an out. Coach assist. Runner on third base. Pitcher pitches the ball. Gets off. Throws the ball back to the pitcher. He thought. But he threw it to third base. Third baseman always has his head towards us. Coach grabs him and says, come on back. Out. Runner's coming to third base. Or runner's on third base. Tag him. Tells the runner to stay on third base. When the kid catches the ball, the coach starts running to home plate. What do you got? Coach's interference. I got an out. That coach can't leave that box. That's what we tell the coaches all the time. Stay in the box unless you're forced to vacate on a play. Once that coach starts running down the line, defense automatically thinks there's a runner. He's going to throw the ball. So we have interference on the coach. Just like the coaches at first base or third base. First base, he comes to catch the fly ball. Coach is standing like this. Foul ball. Umpire calls foul ball. Just like I told you earlier, you got to have the call, right? You know. Coach has to vacate. Give every opportunity for that player to make a play. Just because he's in the coach's box, that's not his box. That's where he's supposed to be, unless what? He's forced to vacate on a play. Coach is coaching first base. Always a shortstop. Throws to first base. Hits the first base and hits the coach in the shoulder. What do you got? I got a hurt shoulder. Other than that, I got nothing. Because nobody was making a play. The play was already made. He just got hit. So the coach has to vacate the box for these defensive players to make a play. They have to. If not, we have what? Coach's interference. Dead ball, and I guarantee you somebody's going to be out. That's it.
What about a high five to a kid that either walked or hit a home run? You just, nice job, good eye, high five when they got to the bag. Because it did happen to us last year in the major division. Kid walked, kid got to first, coach went, nice eye, gave him a high five, umpire banged him out for coach assist. We were like, seriously? It's a high five. It's just, good job.
The end of the game.
Yeah.
Coach got thrown out.
Yeah.
He was down like 2.
Yeah.
Well,
Bases loaded.
Like I said,
I know it wasn't a tournament game.
just curious.
It better not have been a tournament game.
No.
Okay. If it was a tournament game, I'd say he was
We'll
right.
still be talking about it.
No. A coach assist is, do we know what assisting is?
Helping him with the game.
Helping them. Just like if somebody breaks down on the road and runs out of gas, I'm assisting them by pulling them or pushing them or whatever. I'm just assisting them. That's what it is. I'm assisting them to get to one place to another. If a guy hits a home run, do you need to assist him? No. But I guarantee you, if he misses third base and you're coaching third, or you're coaching first and he misses first base on a home run, and you say, come back here, tag this base, I got an out. I don't care about the home run. I got an out. That's different. High five? I don't think I would call anybody out for high five.
That's the same what we did then.
How many know Coach Brook in Fontana? How many have heard of his name? In the 80s, I was doing a Little League game. Fontana Police was hosting the tournament over at Cypress Park. And Coach Brook, everybody, if you know him, was a football coach, athletic coach. His daughter was playing, 12 years old. She was probably the most savvy baseball player on that Fontana Elks Little League team. She was smart, heads up. She knew everything about the game. You can't teach that to some of these kids. They knew. Instinct, they knew. We had 4-man crew. I was doing third base. Kid did the same thing we talked about. Went halfway to home and come back. Go back to the picture. One time, the catcher threw it to the third baseman. She was coaching third base because then there was no adults coaching third bases. That wasn't thought of. Kids were. She seen the catcher throwing to third base. She went and grabbed him and said, "Get on the base!" And as soon as she did that, she said, "Shit." That's exactly what she said. Shit, he's out. You're right. Because she assisted him to get back because she knew he was going to get put out or was going to be close. And if she wouldn't have touched him, I guarantee he probably would have been safe. But she grabbed him. And as soon as she said that, she just said, 12-year-old girl. Shit. Because she knew I was going to call him out. And I did. She goes, I did that. I shouldn't have done that. I said, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have done it. But she was, as I said, she's savvy. She knew. Then she went and graduated high school, college, and coaching softball, coaching something, that's what she was for a while.
So like how it's saying like high fives and stuff, like if someone hits a home run, because this happened to me when I played Little League, someone hit a home run and our team went out to celebrate, he's running third coming in, one of our teammates high fives and they called the player who hit the home run out.
Yeah, it's not an out, it's just, I would tell the coaches, everybody stay back until they reach home plate.
Okay.
Coach can have 5 of them at first or third, whatever, but keep the kids back till they reach home plate because why? I gotta see the kid hit home plate.
Yeah.
I gotta see him hit home plate, you know, and that's all.
So it's not assisted. The coaches just tell them like if you missed the bag.
No.
The coaches just say, hey, come back.
Especially if a home run and say, hey,
Don't touch him.
if he says,
Don't touch him.
hey, come back and hit third base. Oh, that's fine. You say, hey, come back and hit third base. You know. You know, so it's the coach assists, you have an out. It's high fives. I had a protest and I don't know.
Never mind. You get protest, you get thrown out of the game.
You know.
But if the ump didn't see it, see the grab then.
If you can't, yeah, I always said if I don't see something, I can't make a call based on what you told me or what the other coach didn't tell me. I have to see it. If my partner don't see it, we have nothing. That's why I say we have nothing. If I didn't see it, I have to be fair. I'm gonna call somebody out if I didn't see it. That's not being safe. Is being safe. I'm being safe because I didn't see it. I'm being safe because I didn't see it. That means if I'm being safe, so is the runner. I mean, I can't call somebody out if I didn't see it. You know. But anything else on the coach assist high fives? It's not a thing. Pitchers. Not pictures, pictures. First off, uniforms, game uniforms. You read the Rule 111, you read the rules. Rule 1 covers all things of uniforms, do's and don'ts as far as earrings, 111, earrings, you can't do this, you can't wear that kind of. It covers uniforms, uniform undershirts, solid in color, sleeves, solid in color. Now, we're not the professionals, we're Little League. You know, Machado wears white sleeves. Well, that's the Dodgers. You know, he's the one making $30 million for 13 years, not me.
No,
A year,
more like
$30 million a year
like
for
300
13 years.
million. It's like 300 million.
Just like, what's his name?
Harper.
I can, you know, these guys getting paid that good money, man. If I was, what's his name from the Angels?
Trout.
No, owner, Artie.
Yeah.
I'd say, Mike, I'm gonna pay you $50 million a year for 10 years, and give you 36% of the ownership to keep him, because those guys aren't even in his league, and they're making all this money. Mike Trout's a much better ball player. I mean, Jesus, these guys are getting that kind of money. And they better be talking to him now, because I guarantee you next year, he may own half the Yankees, because that's what they want him. So anyway, that's my personal thing. Uniforms, solid in color. Undershirts, solid in color. So if your team's white and blue, the shirt should be blue sleeves. Orange and white, orange sleeves. Black and white, black sleeves. Blue and white, blue sleeves. No white sleeves. And the reason there's no white sleeves is because white.
Looks like the ball.
White's not a color. The book says color.
Or gray.
It can't be white. Pitchers, softball and baseball, wearing the compression. Better make sure they got a shirt sleeve over it. Compression can't be seen. Has to be covered by a sleeve. So if you're blue and white, you better have a camouflage compression, a black compression, white compression, whatever. But you better have a blue sleeve over it, orange sleeve over it, whatever your team colors are. It's got to be covered.
Or you take it off.
Yeah. It's cut and dry, and they do it in high school. This ain't high school. But I guarantee you, in softball, in 1990, I forgot what year it was, 91, 92, we had Little League Congress in San Antonio, Texas. There was 13 items on the agenda for all the people to vote on and see and look at to change rules. 13 items on the agenda. Little League baseball, softball, 12 of them directed mainly at softball. Why? To bring our softball program in line with Federation. What's Federation? Out here we call it CIF, college. So our program in that back in San Antonio in the early 90s was brought more in line with Federation college. Can our little leaguer softball crow hop? No. Can the girl who won the College World Series last year crow hop? No. Do they call it? No. They don't call it. Do we call it? We almost have to, because we got coaches crying. I'll tell you what, if anybody ever pitched softball, I used to pitch men's softball, fast pitch, years ago. I'll tell you what, if you think crow hopping is an advantage, you're crazy. It's not an advantage. It's not an advantage. But it's the routine and delivery that they get down right. There's no advantage. It's like Little League. Guy gets on the rubber, pitch. The advantage is to push off that rubber. Push off, push off, push. Now in Little League, you got a hole this big in front of the rubber. So where's the kid sit? In the hole. Yeah, he's 4 inches closer to home plate. Is there an advantage? No, because when he's delivering the ball, his foot's sliding. No advantage. Do we call it? sometimes. Should we call it? Nah. I mean, we'd be calling it all day long. Bloomington Little League, North Little League, Ken Hubbs, Grand Terre, Park, Eastern does not pay the field crew 6 figures to keep that field in shape. They don't. Now, if you're paying your ground crew, the guys dragging the dragger, if you're paying them $125,000 a year, Dodger Stadium, yeah, no, that's something that's gonna look pretty every game we're playing. This is all volunteers. Do we have time to fill in the holes every pitch? No, we don't have time. You know, but it's there. It's up to you guys as coaches to keep your players on or in front of, touching the pitcher's plate. Same thing with softball. It's your job to teach them how to properly deliver the ball without leaving the ground. You know, we tell them you can slide your foot 6 feet if you want, and if you can do it, just don't break contact with the ground. That's all. You can't. It's hard to do. You guys go out and practice one of these days and see how you gonna wind up and throw that ball. It's hard, but these girls can do it. But you just gotta remember, softball, as long as the foot does not break contact with the ground, it's perfect. I don't care how far. If it's all one motion, if she's 6 foot tall and she's all one motion, and by the time she delivers that ball, her foot's this far in front of the rubber, who gives? It never broke contact, right? It's perfectly legal. But we have other things to do other than worry about crow hopping. And where I get upset with umpires, especially my umpires in softball, is the pitchers in the 7th inning. Now they're going to call it. They didn't call it for the first 6 and a half. They called it for the 7th. So how can you do that? You know, how can you do that? Just because he complained? Talk about Chuck Lewis. In the dugout, coach, has been doing it all day long. We haven't heard a problem. We haven't had a problem. In my judgment, that's what I tell the umpires, huh? Coach comes out, the first thing you say, in my judgment. Once they say it's my judgment, you guys better turn around and go back. Because you ain't gonna argue and you ain't gonna win when the umpire says, in my judgment. You ain't gonna win it. Because it's all judgment call. It's his judgment, her judgment, whoever is umpire. Jewelry of any type is not worn. And I don't care if the girl or the boy, got a quinceañera coming up, I got a birthday party coming up. We just had the ears pierced for this party. Bad timing, Mom. Bad timing, Dad. Sorry. Gotta come out. It's gonna close up. Oh well. You know, that's why you need to tell your parents now, between now and June, middle of June, don't get your ears pierced because you can't have them while you're playing. And a Band-Aid don't cover nothing. The Band-Aid doesn't help. You can't do it.
Band-Aid or tape, none of it?
Only jewelry that can be worn is what? Medical alert bracelet, and it's gotta be taped. Other than that, St. Christopher's, earrings, necklaces, all the bling bling, can't wear it. Up here, eyelids. All these guys that wear it, they have different places. Visibly, you see them. You can't look under the uniform, but physically. Earrings, eyelids, tongues, well, no matter. No jewelry whatsoever. And if the parents come crying to you saying, I can't help it, I refuse to take them off. Well, now it's out of your hands. It's out of the manager's hands. I refuse to remove it. It's out of your hands. The umpire remove it. And not the jewelry. Remove the player. And what happens when your player is removed? That game, man. And if she comes the next game, which would be 3 games, that game, man, it just keeps going. You know. She gonna take it to court? No, can't. Safety. I tell you what, when it comes to safety, ain't no judge is gonna rule against safety. You're not gonna rule it.
Does the manager get reprimanded for that, or just the player?
Player. Now, tournament time, we tell the coaches, when they tell us, are all your players properly equipped according to Little League regulations? Yes.
Like,
Don't lie to me and tell them. The best thing the coaches say is, I believe so, but I can check. Because somebody comes out in the second or third inning and the umpire gonna say, Coach, you're done. Both of you guys are gone. I asked you. You know, so we need to tell our parents part of that, because a lot of parents don't know. They don't know. They just think they're picking up some games on Saturday inside the park. They don't know that you can't wear jewelry. They don't know 10-year-olds can't wear metal spikes and shave them down into points. They can't. They don't know that. They see it on TV and cartoons. They think, oh, what's that? So we have to educate our parents too. So as you as managers and coaches, no jewelry whatsoever. Only the medical alert bracelet. It's got to have athletic tape on it. And I always tell them, put some of that white tape on it right here. Get some of that dirty dirt from the infield. Darken it up a little bit, and you're good to go. That's all. It's good to go. Catchers. Male catchers. You guys make sure they have their cups on. All players must have what? All male players. Jockstrap. Jockstrap. It's not mandatory everybody wears a cup. Yet. But catchers have to. Catchers have to wear that cup.
I thought it was infield too. Just catch.
Well, might as well have your infield, because when that catcher catches 2 innings, you're going to swap them out for another talented catcher, which is probably going to be your first or third or shortstop. It ain't going to be your right fielder. That's why he's playing right field. Right?
right?
But
Judging much.
But as a coach, I try to have my infield always wear the supporters and the cups, because third and first are hot shots. Those are hot corners. Hot corners. And sometimes you can't react fast enough to a line drive. So I'd rather you be protected and be sore than be not protected and be hurt. There's a difference between sore and hurt. So, you can ask your players to wear the cups, especially, and you talk to the parents, hey, he's playing third base, man. Those balls come off pretty fast. First, protect him. Softball. We always tell the female catchers, the coaches, they have those pads for the female catchers to protect. They can get hurt just as much as a boy can down there at that age. How many baseball players you see playing shortstop or third base or second base or pitching with a mask on? None. How many softball players you see? That's my daughter. She's 12. She's 13. She's got braces on. She's got a whole future ahead of her. And if she gets racked up in softball, she'll never get married. So you see them. College too. I just seen one last week in college. The pitcher's wearing it. I mean, that's part of softball, because those are hot shot corners. And I guarantee you, that ball, I'd rather get hit by a hard ball after 4 innings than a softball after 15. Because that softball is named wrong. It should be a hard ball. And the baseball should be a hot softball, because after so many innings, the baseball gets soft. That softball seems like it gets harder and harder and harder. So I'd wear that mask too, Catchers. You guys mostly are supplied with your league. If you get your catcher's gear and it doesn't have a throat protector on it, go to the safety officer, go to the equipment manager, tell them, I need throat protectors. Because Little League regulation requires me to have that. And if I don't have it, I'm in violation. I don't want, it's a safety.
Hockey style.
Hockey style masks are great. Attach a throat protector. That'll be.
I was just curious.
Yeah. You have to have the dangling throat protector. The coach says, well, it's throat protector because it's down. No. It's gotta have the dangling throat protector. Thanks to Steve Yeager. Everybody knows who Steve Yeager is, right? But I have to have the throat protector attached to it. Helmets, whether it's practice or play, no cracks, and all the padding's got to be in them. Again, safety. Go up to your safety officer, go up to your procurement officer, and same thing with umpires. When we check equipment, we check the catcher's mask, make sure it has a dangling throat protector on it. We check the chest protector, make sure it's not ripped, torn, or thing. Check the knee pads, make sure they're not cut, broken, or anything. Because if it's got a slice in the middle of the kneecap, it ain't no good. Needs to be replaced. You know, we check all that. Bats. You got a 33-inch bat. Weighs 25 ounces. Is that legal? So we have to check equipment every game. It's up to the coaches to educate the parents on, hey, I want to buy my son or my daughter a bat. We don't really care too much about the daughter because softball, hell, you can use a Nassau bat, whatever. But baseball, there's certain bats you cannot use. So we tell them, before you spend $600 on that bat, let me check and see if it's legal. Sometimes they're not. And the first thing they say is, God damn, I just spent all this money and I can't use this bat. Look how pretty it is. Who cares how pretty it is? It's not the right bat. It's illegal. What do we do when we find an illegal bat? Throw it out. What do we do when we find the illegal bat back in the game? Somebody's going home. And if it's used on a hit, I guarantee you, 2 people are going home. But that's what we say. We need to check our equipment. Make sure it's within the league regulations, specifications. Wooden bats don't have to have tape on them. I don't know who says that. Doesn't have to have a rubber handle grip on the bottom. Doesn't have to have athletic tape. It's a wooden bat. It's a wooden bat. On that, if you go to littleleague.org and download the bats, you won't find a wooden bat on there that's illegal. Because they're just wood. As long as they meet Little League specifications, the diameter and the length, there's nothing wrong with them. It's the metal bats that they have problems with that explode and cause danger. How many seen a wooden bat cause danger when it explodes? Yeah, you've seen them, slivers all over the place. You know, but just make sure all your equipment's checked. Umpires, that's our job before the game. Inspect the field, inspect bats, catcher's gear, helmets.
What about stickers on helmets?
No stickers, unless it's a Noxie sticker, which is the approved sticker for the helmet that says it's no stickers, no decals, no paint, unless it's painted by the manufacturer. And if somebody tells you, well, we had this painted because the manufacturer said it was okay, and then you say, well, you can't use it today, once you bring me the letter from the manufacturer saying it was okay, and they're gonna be liable for anything, we'll let you use it. And I guarantee you, you'll never see that letter. You know, the dad took it in the garage and got some old Rust-Oleum paint, to paint their daughter's name on it, paint their son's name on it. They look good. Maybe they're good in travel ball. Maybe they're good in Pony League. But Pony League is getting like Little League. They're getting more safety conscious too. So when they say Pony, now, we know Pony League. They're headed the same way we are. All safety, safety, safety. But no painted helmets, no helmets with stickers, no helmets with daisies on them, no helmets with anything on them. You know? And no painted helmets. If you see them, don't throw them away, just give them back to parents, tell them we can't use them. League furnishes helmets. Most kids have their own because, you know, headlights and stuff. Parents don't want to share helmets, that's fine. But make sure that helmet they buy is legal. So, any questions on the batter? Any questions on equipment?
You mentioned the USA stamp on it.
Has to have it. Has to have it. And like I said, for those of you who are unaware of the bats and stuff, littleleague.org, forms and publications. It's easy. Click, 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 and you're there. And you can either download the whole. I think it'd probably be better if they said these bats you can't use, rather than these bats you can use. And you got tons and tons, pages and pages and pages, and you're gonna have to look through each one to see if it's on there. Different manufacturers and stuff. Yeah, we all know that, but download that and give it to all your players and say, here, if you're gonna buy a bat, make sure it's on this list. If it's not on this list, don't buy it.
Make sure your parents know too, not USSSA. I've had one parent
Yeah.
do that already this year.
So-
It says USA, no it don't, it says USSSA, way different standard.
But like I said, safety is a bigger issue than a run scored and home runs hit, errors made. Safety's first, and that's why I said if an illegal bat comes into a game, even tournament time, we'll toss it out. But if we see it again, somebody's going home. It's going to be the batter who used it to get a base hit, and the manager who's in charge of that team. We're going to have an out. We're going to have the two guys going home. Is it worth it? That kid proved to you it wasn't worth it from Aquinas High School a couple years ago. Used a wooden bat all season. 30, 40 home runs. Led the league in hits, run score, RBIs, stolen bases. He did it all with a freaking wooden bat. He didn't pay no $800 for a bat. So if he could do it, anybody can do it. I mean, I go golfing once in a while. My golf club, my driver's probably 15, 20 years old. I see guys up there with goddamn head of the club's this big.
That's crazy.
I'm going, man, it's $1,000 club. Do I have $1,000 to buy for a driver? No, I'm not Chichi Rodriguez or nobody. I just once in a while golf. But does the ball go further? Maybe a little bit. But they still have the problem I have. I slice. They slice. So what the hell? We have fun. Right, Joey?
Yeah.
I always have fun. Any questions on equipment? Catcher's gear? Spikes. Rubber cleats are only permitted in majors on down. Intermediate, juniors, and seniors. Spikes are okay. Are they the best? It's individual choice. I think most of them, when they turn 13 and get out of division, they want to walk on cement first to see how they sound. And then they start running, come back, they got a broken elbow because they run on cement, fall down, hit their elbow. They're out for a couple of games because their elbow busted. But, that's the individual's choice. But just let you know that rubber molded cleats or tennis shoes, Little League on down. Softball, same thing. Juniors and seniors, they can wear spikes. But
Sorry, Gary, back to the catcher gear. Knee savers are optional or?
it's up to you guys, yeah. They're optional. I wish I had had them for umpires, but no, they're optional. I always say that just make sure your catcher's protected safely. Mask, dangling toe protector. Catcher's helmet's gotta have padding. Just make sure they're safe. Same with your batters. Make sure those helmets are safe, not cracked. Pitching. You covered the pitcher what he has to wear. One of the other things is, like today, it's raining. It rained January and February. What the news said, he said California's had more rain in 2 months than of all last year. And we're probably going to get some more throughout the year. We don't now. We can't assume that. Oh, Little League starting. Nah, we'll get no rain out. So we'll have maybe one or two, but it'll be perfectly. It's unpredictable. Unpredictable. How many thought January was cold? January was cold. It was cold. We're probably going to get something like that in April and May too. So when your batters go up to bat, when your players go on defense, There's nothing that says they can't wear a jacket. There's nothing wrong with jackets. They can wear them when they bat. They can wear them when they're in outfield. Does it help them? Keeps them warm. Doesn't help them hit. Doesn't help them throw. Doesn't help them catch. To me, they're more confined. But if we see batters going up to the bat with jackets on, they have to be tucked inside their pants.
Don't they also have to like tell you like what number they are for the scorekeeper?
Oh, they should know that. They say I'm 15, 10, whatever. But jackets, as long as they're tucked inside the pants, because if you wear a big, heavy-duty windbreaker and you're leaning over the plate and that windbreaker's like out here, the ball hits it. What do you have? I got a hit pitch. Is it fair? No, that's a hit pitch. That's according to the rule. So I always made the batters tuck it in. I could care less what the left fielder does. He's gonna want to have to run after a fly ball, and because he can't move his arms, that's up to them. There's nothing that says they cannot wear a jacket. So,
Pitchers also.
if the pitcher wants to wear one, yeah, as long as it's team color, solid color. So, I mean,
Team color.
you know, I wouldn't want my pitcher wearing one, but hey, I mean, he's already walked 7, gave up 3 home runs, so I guess a jacket wouldn't help or hurt. No. Just make sure everybody's safe. That's all. Pitchers, you know how many pitches they can pitch. Keep a strict, especially if they're playing more than one division, like the 12-year-olds playing in the intermediate. Make sure that they're not pitching all Monday and then coming back to Little League and pitching Wednesday their maximum. I guarantee you, kids are going to get hurt. You know, if you got kids playing your major and your little league teams that are playing travel balling, ask the parent to monitor their pitching. Because unless you go watch them play travel ball, you don't know if they're pitching. They could have pitched all day Sunday, and you got a Monday night game, and you throw them 85 pitches. It's like, I don't know why your arm's sore, son. Well, I just pitched 3 games this weekend, and my last game was last night, and I mean, we have to keep an eye on the monitor. Different pitch count, different age groups, so make sure we keep an eye on that. And it's got to be steadfast on that. We can't ignore it. Anything else on the pitchers?
For softball, can they, 12-year can play or pitch in juniors?
If they want to play up there, yeah. I mean,
I'm saying pitching.
yeah, it's like I said, our tournament team managers, the tournament managers for baseball want us to adopt the softball pitching because there's basically, if you look at it, there's basically no regulation for pitching. I mean, yeah, you pitch 10 innings in a game, yeah, but you can pitch 7 innings in a game, as many pitches as you want, you know? I mean, there's no limit. There's nothing that says you can only pitch 7 innings, but you got to make sure you throw under 90 or 85. There's nothing. It's a different delivery. It's not a snap. It's basically, that's it. So the doctors say, nothing wrong with it. It's natural. So they baseball want to adopt the softball pitching for tournament time, which is be good, but you got a lot of kids aren't sore arms. But yeah, they can pitch up there.
What's the penalty for, say, a pitcher maxes out on Thursday and then comes back on Saturday and throws, and the coach is like, oh, well, show me proof that he pitched on Thursday?
You guys should be, you guys should have a record on the official scorebook. And as umpires and as coaches, remember we talked about the plate meeting being a brief conference, not a clinic. You know, line up, properly equipped. Who's ineligible to pitch for you? Who's ineligible to pitch for you? And they should tell him. And then you go to the scorekeeper. Pitchers, yeah, they're eligible. Scorekeeper should know. Now, if a guy, or a coach, I should say, because it could be a man or woman, deliberately violates that, we have a serious problem. And that's something the board of directors would have to look at.
Yeah, cause he threw his son up there Thursday, and then he came back and threw him on Saturday, and I brought to his attention that he pitched on Thursday, and he's like, well, show me the proof, and I couldn't find the paperwork, and he's like, well, he's my kid, so I'm just gonna go and I could do whatever I want with my kid.
What I would have done as an umpire, I would have done this, because if I know through the scorekeeper that he maxed out Thursday and he didn't have his day's rest, right? Because he shouldn't have pitched till Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days. He shouldn't have pitched. Said, well, coach, earlier I talked about 901C. Anything not specifically covered in this book. So if you know by the scorekeeper that you're pretty aware and pretty sure that he maxed out on Thursday and he should be pitching. So he's not pitching today, coach, either make a change or we're not playing. You want to protest? 419, write it up and submit it. That's where we're standing right now. Because I'm not going to hurt a kid's arm because you tell me he's your father, your son. Today, you're not his dad. You're his coach. There's a big difference. Just like we tell the coaches. Male coaches in softball. A girl slides and gets hurt. That's my daughter. Not today. She's a player. You're a coach. You may have 100 people sitting in the stands. They don't know that's your daughter. And you're picking her up and rubbing her butt to get the soreness out. We don't do that. It's perception. We cannot do that. And I guarantee you, if it happens in the World Series or regional games that they're taping, but they're not your daughters today. They're not your sons today. They're your players, and you are the coach who have to answer to him and his board. They have to answer to him. You know, say, hey, he's not pitching. I'm umpiring the game. They're not pitching, and if you have a problem with that, protest 419. Put another pitcher in there to play ball, or don't play. We'll write it up. Board will forfeit it. They'll forfeit it. Once they have the board meeting, the board can forfeit that game. They can't do it automatically, but they go through the process. They can forfeit that game. I mean, because what are you looking out for? The safety of the kids, not to who's going to win, who's going to lose. I could care less. You know, am I going to let Phil come up to bat without a helmet on? Because I really don't care. It's his choice. No, it's not his choice. He has to have a helmet on. So that's what you do, 901C. That's it. Because it's not specifically covered, you know. And if you would have continued to pitch him, the league should have took him and I'd have suspended him, or I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do, you know. But anything else on pitching? Runners, batters, defense, offense? How many's in here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Everybody got a pen?
You got something back here.
I wanna pass these out. There's 150. No, I'm not kidding. There's 10 questions on this. We've talked about all of these questions. That's true or false, one each. True or false, and I'm not grading you to manage a team in the World Series or to umpire, but what it does for me is it gets me to make you read the situations. Read the situation, put it in your head. I used to give a 50-question test years ago, and I had an open book. I go, open book? Yeah, because if you don't know the answer, look it up, baby, and find it. Oh, and then next to that question, page 140, whatever. But what?
SAP.
Begin. No, I'm just kidding. Because when I go to correct them, we're gonna pass them around, so put your name so somebody doesn't know. Which one did you, oh, you didn't get one? These are, pretty routine, they're not too hard. But just, do the best you can. I think everybody should be getting pretty close to 90 or 100%. I mean, I was gonna leave true off and leave the false there, or false off, leave the true, that way you know it's already what the answer is, but I said, nah, I better not. If you have a rule book, if you're stuck, look it up. we'll correct them right now, and then you guys can save them. And the ones you get wrong, look up, see where you made a mistake. And the ones you got right, look them up. I used to give the test out 50 questions, true and false. I had 50 questions where you had to write the ruling down. That's why I had an open book. That way I knew that they at least opened the book and they found it. But I don't know how many guys get this book, but read it. Got good information on runners, everything in here. And if you have the opportunity to join the Umpire Registry to Little League International, it's probably worth it because you get constant information from Little League things. So we were gonna have some mechanics today, but unless you brought your fishing boots or what do they call waders, it would probably be impossible. But for the umpires that want some, we can still go over some hand mechanics rather than position mechanics, because there's no room in the room for that. But Joey just attended a class a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The mechanics or rules?
Just the rules.
Yeah.
Then I went down to District 72 and helped them out last weekend. They had a
Eastvale?
Yeah, Eastvale.
You know, like I said, years ago, they had the umpire clinics at San Bernardino. Mechanics, rules, baseball, softball. I used to be an instructor up there, and what I really liked is a confrontation from an irate manager, stuff like that. And we had some guys that actually we told them, hey, you're going to be the manager, and you're going to be pissed off, whatever. And he come out and he said everything but the F word. And as an umpire, we train him to be tolerant to that. And then once they make it personal, it's over with. I mean, you know, I love this program. I love it. But I liked it, hey, better, swing. That's baseball to me, you know. You can't say that. You say, hey, better, but you can't say swing, you know. Fontana Elks, I always say Elks because Bruick's daughter got them chanting their pitcher's name, their own pitcher's name. Steve, and that's their own pitcher's name. They weren't talking to the other team, they were talking to their own pitcher, you know, stuff like that. But, hey, batter, you know, you're gonna hear as umpires, you're gonna hear, come on, Blue, you know, what's the, shake your head, your eyes are stuck.
They're calling phone blue.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that. And as umpire, I train them not to be rabbit ears. Not to be rabbit ears. You can hear it. I mean, my 30-some years of umpiring, I heard everything there was. A lot of it was good, but you always hear somebody. You got the mask on, you're chuckling to yourself, you know, like, this person don't even have a clue what's going on. So it's funny to me. But when they made it personal, I have a problem now. One, did they make it personal towards me? No. But they're making it personal towards their kids or towards the other team's kids. That's when we put a stop to it. We'll do all the rooting, hollering, hell raising you want to do. Make sure it's positive. I hear negative, I got time, and I'm going to put a stop to it. That's what we want the umpires. You hear anything negative, time. Don't talk to the stands. Don't talk to them. Because you're trying to talk one against 25 or sometimes 10 or one against 3 people in the stands and sometimes 40. Talk to the manager. Say, hey, you know what? There's a lot of negative stuff coming out of your parents. One of you three need to put a stop to it. Because I guarantee you, you don't want me to put a stop to it. Because like I said earlier, somebody's going home. That's all. But you just tell them, because this is anything positive we want it, not negative. And as soon as they make it personal, somebody's going home. And if the umpire happens to, and I always want them to, if they eject somebody, they have to write a letter up on the ejection and give it to the board. A lot of times, the board doesn't receive anything. It was his word against, well, he was ejected. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the first inning. It doesn't matter if it's the 7th or 8th inning in a tie game. It doesn't matter. He's ejected.
What if the game's already over?
And they're on the field?
Don't laugh because it happened last year to me.
But
The game's already over.
if they're on the field, they, umpires have not left, they still have jurisdiction. That's why I say, when a coach comes out and argues, I would say 9 times out of 10, he's gone. Because a coach shouldn't come out to argue. The coach should ask time out to come out and talk. I have a concern. Not argue, but if he has a concern, he can talk to the umpire. But once he makes it personal, like, you son of a, you're done. Just don't make it personal. Just talk to him. After the game, I tell people, I may eject Phil because maybe there was a call made. Maybe he had a right to get upset internally, but not display it physically by throwing his hat down and say, you umpires suck. Okay? So now I'm gonna remove Phil or eject Phil from the game. Now he's only gonna get punished that game and the next game. That's the rule, right? That's the written rule. That game and the next. But Phil was more hard-headed than that. So after I ejected him, he decided to call me more names, make hand gestures to me, say stuff, I'll meet you in the parking lot, blah, 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 blah. Well, when I write this up, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a litigator, and I sure the hell ain't a book writer. But I know in my letter to the board, I felt threatened. So now the board says, we can't have this kind of behavior. So he's gonna sit this game out, by book this game out, and by his actions, the next 3, 2, 4 games out. Phil might be dumped for 6, 7 games. He may be dumped for those 2 plus 3 weeks. How many times do you play in 3 weeks? Maybe 6 games? Is it worth to sit out 9 games, 8 games, because you threw a temper tantrum? Because maybe you had an argument with your wife before you left the house and you decided to take it on the umpire? No, it's not worth it. That's what I say. He's already being punished by ejecting this game and 1 more. Any actions after that, the consequences are him. I always say, with choices comes accountability. His choice was to continue. You know, well, now he's going to be accountable for those choices. So if they say, you're done for 3 more weeks, guess what? He's done for 3 more weeks. That's 7 games now. So is it worth it? No, it's not worth it.
I was kind of in a situation where I was managing the team, and my coaches gave the umpires a hard time. Since I was manager, I was ejected. I was responsible for my coaches on the field or in that dugout. So as managers, don't forget that, because I found out the hard way. So I was ejected out of that particular game. Those guys were suspended, or the person that was guilty of harassing the umpires or going beyond what they should have was suspended after that. So just because if you're the manager, you're responsible for not only your players, but your coaches. And I found out, like I said, the hard way, having to suffer consequences that my coaches did. So, you know.
Was that same coach suspended from that same game you were?
He was thrown out. Yeah, we're both thrown out.
The same game?
Yeah.
anger management class. Joey.
Hey, what about the other way? What if the board doesn't back you up and they say that didn't even justify an ejection? He's not gonna sit out the next game.
Two things can
Well,
happen.
you already ejected, he ejected
Well,
himself
Well, two things can happen.
by walking out of the dugout.
By written rule, the president of the league and all its board of directors on that board, who were either elected by the membership or appointed by the president and voted on and approved by the board members, have to follow this book. They have to. If they don't follow this book on something like that, a letter will be written and to find out why the board didn't do what they were supposed to do. As an umpire, if I'm scheduled to work Monday at 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock game Monday night, and this happened Friday or Saturday, and they didn't do shit, they didn't do anything, there might be one umpire short. Because that's how we lose volunteers. Not only coaches and managers, but umpires also. And board members too, we lose them because the book's written, and I said there's no gray area, it's black and white. Black and white. If it's, don't read between the lines, it's written right there. And the board has a responsibility to be responsible for all actions of everybody. Umpires, whether they're volunteers or getting paid, coaches, managers, team moms, I mean everybody. They should not, just because like the old good old boys, have preference over friendship and stuff. And I was telling somebody before the meeting started that as a president of this league in the 70s, being a 20-year-old kid who had 4 older brothers coaching in the same division, who suspended 2 of his brothers for actions. I had a job to do. They were my brothers, but I also was the president. And my duties were for the membership and the kids. So I had to suspend them. Did I get any flack from my mom and dad at the time? No. You messed up. He did do his job. Yeah, he's your brother. He loves you. But he has a responsibility. That's where we have to draw the line. I'm a district administrator. I have a lot of friends in baseball. I have a lot of presidents that are my friends, a lot of coaches that are my friends, a lot of umpires that are my friends. And just because they're my friends, if they messed up, I said, don't worry about it. I'm doing a disservice to the program too. So we have to do our due diligence and act responsible. And friendships take a back seat. And if they're your friends, they would understand that they got a 2-game suspension. I know you didn't do it because you hate me, but and they have to, the individual has to know that I messed up, I have to do the consequence. What do they say? Do the crime, do the time.
Well, if you're coaching the majors, you get kicked out again to suspended, but you're also coaching a minor.
You're not coaching that team either.
But does that count as a 1-game suspension?
Until you serve, no, until you serve the fraction in the division that you're in.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, in Little League now, I hate to say this, in Little League now, if you have all divisions of baseball and softball, and you happen to have a coach in one of the divisions, you're probably coaching in 2 or 3 other divisions because the volunteers aren't there. But the suspension is, you're suspended from all functions of the program. So come watch your kids play, but you can't watch your kid play if that's the team you're rejected from, but you just can't, you know. And it's hard because a lot of leagues rely on that person to help. Hey, I can't. He's a coach of a major baseball team. He manages a senior softball team, and he's also a coach of an intermediate or something baseball. Everybody relies on that one person. And the thing here is a person has to know that I'm a valuable asset to this league. And I always tell people, volunteers are the spokes of a wheel. A couple of those spokes get broken, that wheel starts wobbling, finally that wheel quits going around. Volunteers are probably the most important part of this program other than the kids. volunteers are proud people and they serve with pride. I mean, you hate to do that, but especially if you're coaching 2 or 3 teams and maybe you're on the board. I always tell people, we are the example. We don't have room for error, you know? And it's funny because back in 2006, 7, and 8, and up to 2012, I used to race stock cars. Our division made me the spokesman for the stock cars. Everybody was modifying things, which would be called cheating. And they tell me, you need to do this. I said, no, I don't have to do that. The rules are this. Yeah, but I said, look, I spent 95% of my adult life in Little League. I can just see the newspaper if I win a race by cheating. Little League district administrator caught cheating at track. I said, that ain't gonna be on my resume. But just like here, we're the example. Managers and coaches are the example. Board members are the example. We have to, once we drive in that parking lot, open that door, we got our white hat on, just like Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. We never wore the black hat, we had the white hat because we are the example. We can't be part of the problem, we have to be the example. Everybody done writing? And we'll, you guys can correct them right here and I'll give you the answers. Hopefully you got test 7. Is that what you got? Test 7.
At least.
We'll go on down the line 1 through 10. 1. False. 2. False. 3. True. 4. 4. False. 5. False. 6. False. 7. False. 8. True. 9. True. 10. False. Everybody get 100%? Everybody get 100%? Nobody got 100%? Oh, well. Which ones you want to discuss those? If not, you don't have to. I mean, yeah, but that way you make sure we get them right.
Well, number 10, I thought it was under 30 feet. You just kind of stay inside, and so you have after 30 feet, you have to kind of go out. That says you're at 40 feet. Oh, from first base. That's a trick question.
That's the baby.
First base.
That's a trick question.
Not 40 feet from home.
Yeah.
Because 40 feet from home, you only got another 20 feet.
Got it.
40 foot from first base. There you go. See, it was easy fix.
So I got number 7 wrong. So the
the
runner who passed the lead runner would be out then instead of the lead runner letting the
Yeah. Because once I gave you the answer and you read it again,
yeah.
And I always tell people, you gotta put yourself on the field, and you're either the runner or the trailing runner or the lead runner, and say, yeah, okay. Now, was the runner forced to advance? Was he not forced to? I mean, you have to put everything in perspective, and you know, that's, but these are, they're not that hard of rules or questions, but it's stuff that happens almost every game. I have another test here that we cover a lot of stuff in too, but, I mean, I can give it to you, you can take it home or whatever, but, the thing here is, pick up the green book, read it. Situations. I don't know what happened to my book, I was on here. What's that? Black call? You got it in your hand.
Just check it in your folder.
Oh, I thought maybe somebody needed it more than I did.
Question.
But
So if they get caught in the rundown, they can't dive to a base to try to be safe?
yeah,
Only going backwards, only going back.
if they got caught between first and second, or second and third, or third and home, back and forth. Let's say between home and third. Pass ball, guy's gonna throw the ball to the catcher. Oh, shit, he's got the ball. I'm going back to third baseman. So now they're getting a rundown. Now, if he's going home to score, if he's going home, which is forward, no head first slide. If he's going back to third, and we argued that fact when that rule was gonna be changed, because we figure if you're in a rundown, I don't care what base you're at, except I hope you're not a rundown between first and home, but I didn't care what base you were in, where you were at in a rundown. The object of this is a runner who is running at top speed. So you figure if a kid runs for a double and he's running, he turns first base, cuts the corner, and he's going to second. We didn't want him to head first slide into second no more. The possibility of injuries. You're in a rundown. I don't think there's any kid that's at full speed in a rundown. He's probably, you got 60 feet, he's probably using 20 of those feet back and forth, back and forth. So we asked him, what would be the difference of a head first slide in a rundown situation? The kid's not going full speed. Their answer with the litigators is we have to say forward progress, no matter if it's full speed, half speed, or a quarter speed. That way everybody's mentality knows you cannot slide going forward. Then why didn't you put it in the paper that way when you asked us to vote on something? Because the only thing you said was full or top speed. Everybody knows in a rundown nobody's going full speed. But forward progress, no head first slides. And that's where a lot of mistakes are made sometimes, I think. In fact, I seen one in a tournament game last year. In our senior baseball, we was in Ontario playing, and one of the other kids slid head first in a rundown. He slid head first, and didn't even slide. He slid head first to take the catcher up. Now, was it necessary? No. But nobody called anything. I guess they figured since the catcher has a mask and the chest protector shin guards on, it's free game. But whether it's a rundown or full speed, you have to do what? Slide or avoid contact. And he did either one. He basically nailed him about this high and just took him out. And like I said earlier, first base, incidental contact, I guess that's what I thought. I don't know. I thought he would be out for taking the catcher out, but oh well.
How do you question a head first call, a player being called out for going head first when it was, I guess it's judgment, it's obvious the kid was falling forward and he was called out because the umpire said he had his hands out like this. And I said, but he was falling. That's your natural reaction. You put your hands up when you fall. He says, doesn't matter. I said, so if he'd had his hands in and smacked his chin first, he'd been safe. He goes, well, yeah, he fell forward. Is it just more of a judgment?
That's a judgment. I would say to rule out all the questionable details. If any kid's coming to my base head first, whether he's falling or sliding, he's out. Never miss an opportunity to do what?
Get it out.
I mean,
well, yeah, you could sit there fake a fall forward.
Yeah, because you could sit there and argue all day.
Yeah.
But he was falling. He was sliding. But he was you know what? Boom. End of story. But yeah, you have that, especially some of the kids that are running faster than their feet go. I mean,
I've seen kids that come from pony ball and they forget where they're at that time, and they go to slide head first at the last minute. They try and change, and they're just flying. Yeah, you're gonna get out of this. I had a kid literally fell forward, and he went like that.
Especially if the kids are like chubby like me. we start going forward before our feet get there. I mean, that's just the way things are, you know. I guess it's called Newton's gravity thing, because you know, and you fall forward. But, you know. Anything else? Any other questions?
I have a quick one. I manage a 12 major team and want to umpire. Should I stay away even if my boy's not playing? I'm a father also. Father to one of the players on my team. Should I stay away from all major games and just do minors, or what's your advice?
I would, because it would be a conflict. Let's say you're umpiring the plate or something, and you're coaching that division, and let's say you're a game and a half behind Gilbert's team, and he's doing something, and let's say Gilbert called you an asshole. What are you gonna do?
Never miss an opportunity.
Hey, and the first thing they're gonna say is conflict. He did it because he's playing him next week. So we want to stay away from those. So if you only want to do major, let's say, if you only want to umpire majors and you got a major team at North, see if Eastern can use you, or Bloomington, or somebody in the area that, hey, I can do Tuesday night next week at your field. All right, come on down. Or stay in the minors, help your own league. I mean, that's what I would do. You know, and it's like, I always tell people, whenever you see a conflict, avoid it. Avoid a conflict, because like I said, maybe you deserve to be thrown out, but people are going to perceive that you did it because you're playing his team next week and you're a game or half a game out. He did it on purpose. So he's going to want to umpire your next game. And now we have a battle. Well, I'm going to umpire his game. He's right behind us.
That sounds good. I had a lot of free umpires right there.
You know? But anything else? You know, I don't know how many coaches are here who are also going to umpire, but the basic mechanics for umpires, not on the field as far as angles, because we can't teach that in here, but out calls, safe calls, stuff like that. And in Little League, the way Little League baseball wants the umpires to be taught, there's certain mechanics that they want you to follow, especially if you are just an umpire and you doing regular season and you need some more time season to do some tournaments games, and the further you do tournaments and stuff, you may move up from district to section, from section to state, and who knows, you may even be eligible to do a regional and maybe a World Series. It took me 28 years to do a World Series, so I mean, it's a long time, it's a long process, but they want you to follow certain mechanics, and I think if you get the mechanics down, that eventually, that's what people look at, mechanics. You know, and I always tell the umpires, dress when you show up is 50% of the game. You know, if your game starts at 5:30, the umpire should be there before 5. Because I look at it this way, when the umpire's running late, now I'm trying to hurry the coaches to hurry, get their warm-ups done. Why? Because I'm late. That's not fair. I need to be there a half hour early at least, so I have time to get ready if I'm doing the plate, inspect equipment, do everything. You know, dress when they show up, shirts, pants, pressed, shoes, shined, everything ready to go. I mean, you see, if you do a game and you see a guy come up there with all decked out, everything polished to the tees, and then here comes his partner, you know, I don't know, where'd this guy come from, you know? I umpired last year 2 games. Umpired last year 2 games, and I'm not supposed to umpire because I'm the district administrator. But there was a situation where I umpired a game at Bloomington, and I don't know if I did it was a season game or a winter game at North.
Yeah, it was winter.
Yeah, and it's like, and I told them when they asked me if I wanted to umpire, I said, yeah, but I'm not wearing the gray slacks or the umpire's shirt, because in my defense, if somebody was to turn me in, I said, I was just at the ballpark and I wanted somebody to umpire, so I volunteered. But if I'm there dressed out, well, you knew you were gonna umpire. I mean, so, not to mention the fact that I have an umpire since 2004, and all my shirts and pants don't fit. But, you know, and I just volunteer my time, so I wasn't gonna go spend a couple $100 for, but When they get there, you get there at least a half hour early. Make sure your stuff's polished. Check equipment. Game time, quick plate meeting, like I said. You don't run a clinic at the plate meeting. You just run a small, are the kids properly equipped? Exchange the lineups. Who's not eligible to pitch? Oh, they have a busted thing over here. That area where that temporary fence is, that's all dead ball area. We gotta just cover the basics. Let's play some ball, you know? But the stance, as far as mechanics, they're real easy. You know, and it's basically just a fist. So you stand like that, let's say you're gonna call somebody out, you just, out. Because nobody's close, nobody's there, nothing. They're either out or safe. I never heard somebody say, you're there. Where am I at? You're either safe or out. So a safe sign is just, we don't go like this. Safe sign is basically straight out. Nothing above the shoulder, straight out. Safe. Safe. Out. It's just a fist. Out. And what do we use as out? Strikes. You know? But as you umpire longer, you develop your own style. You know, and stuff. And there's no reason as an umpire, especially at bases. Guy gets thrown out at first base. He's 10, 15 feet from the base. And the umpire says, ah! Yeah. Everybody knows the kid's out. Everybody knows it. Because he's been thrown out by 10, 15 feet. So if you go into this what do you have left if it is a close play? If it's a close play, you have to sell it. You have to sell it. So if the kid's safe, he's out. Out, safe. Foul ball, same thing. Just, you know, we don't go like this. You know, foul ball. Well, depending on where you're standing at. Simple. It's real simple. It's real simple. Like I said, after years of doing it, you decide you have your own style. And I always call them safe or out, except on a close play. They just go like that. You know, you yell it out. I don't have to go through no big emotion. Yeah, that was just out. But I echoed verbally what he was, so they knew. You know, but it's real simple. Strikes, you know, wherever you're at. However you're behind the plate, strike. You know, some guys go, but they want, and they just want, poof, right, Joey? Poof. They just want that pump. You know, we don't ever motion for balls. You say ball, ball. You don't have to say inside, outside, high, low. Because we're not a coach, we're not a catcher, and we're just an umpire. Ball. Strike, ball. One thing we didn't cover was the foul tip. Live ball. I seen guys tip it, go straight back to the catcher, catches it. Runners going to second. I seen guys put them back to first because it was a foul ball. It's not a foul ball, it's just a foul tip. It's a tip. It's just a tip. It's live ball. Runners can run. Now, if the ball hit the catcher's chest and caught it, I got a foul ball. So there's a difference. But can I see that? No. But my base umpire better be watching, because I always tell people, eyes on the ball, eyes on the ball, eyes on the ball. If I'm a base umpire, there's no reason other than to run and check and see if the guy hit first base for me to watch him run to second. Once I know he tagged first base, my eyes are on the ball. Because I ain't going to make a call at second if the ball's still out in right field. I'm not going to make a call at third if the ball's still out in right field. You got to keep her on the ball. Because as soon as you turn your head on that ball, that's when you get hit. Because you're like just watching the runner. Who has the ball? Who's throwing? So you just when you come in, you gotta pivot. See, he hits it, turn, and fall into second. That's all. That's all you gotta do. But they're real simple signs. Out, safe, foul ball. You know, timeout's the same way. Time. That's.
You show the call when the first baseman pulls his foot.
Yeah, you just when you got the angle, catches the ball, but he pulled him off the bag. Runner's safe. Off the bag. You don't have to say it fast. But if you explain yourself, coaches know what the hell you're talking about. Runner's safe. Runner's out. Okay. Why? He's on the base. Runner's safe, even though they know he caught the ball and it beat the runner, but they don't know that he pulled his foot off. Runner's safe. Off the bag. Follow with off the bag, coaches, oh shit, he came off the bag. That's why he's safe. Everybody in the grandstands knew he was out by a foot or two, but they didn't see his foot. You did. That's simple. Just explain yourself. It's like I said earlier, Terrace Hills. Did he come off the bag? Yeah. Because I can't see if I'm in line with him and he's like this. I can't see if his foot stayed on the base or it came off an inch. I couldn't see it. So I asked for help. They want to protest. We can't communicate. But anything else?
Don't anticipate the call either.
Timing. Timing's everything. Timing is everything.
Too much, man. Better process a minute and then.
Especially if you're working a 60-foot base, a 60-foot field and you're on bases, runner on second. You're on the side of the shortstop because we're always ahead of the runner. The umpire is always ahead of the runner. If I'm in the area between second and short, I find a comfortable place. There's no exact place to be because, one, you don't want to be in the shortstop's back pocket. Two, I want to make sure that left fielder has a clear eye view of home plate or the ball, the batted ball. I don't want to be between him and home plate where you can't see if the guy hits it or not. So you find a comfortable place. Ground ball hit to the infield, you know the runner's going to be holding, and you know they're going to check, and you know they're going to first base. It's timing. And I always tell these guys, it's angle, perception, timing. So you know he checked the runner, so you start moving towards first. The guy's throwing the ball and you're moving still, and then right before you catch, you stop. Make the call, however he is, safe or out. And after you make the call, you continue walking towards the base. Because when the coach looks at you, you're 40 feet closer than when you called it. Because the first thing he says, how can you make that call? You're way out there. But when you make that call and you continue to walking, now you're almost right there in the perfect angle. Who's going to argue? Nobody. But you make the call, stop.
Yeah.
Never make it, because as you're running, your eyes are going, believe it or not, you're bouncing.
Yeah.
You're bouncing. So you want to make sure you stop. He's out. You know? Make sure you're not in nobody's way. Especially don't get out there until the guy throws the ball. Bad thing to get hit in the back of the head or shoulder. Work on 90-foot bases. Infield, it's just left, right side, depends, and same thing. You know, but outs are pump, safes. Nothing above the shoulder, straight out, safe. And it's always you're out or you're safe. You're not there, close, safe or out. Other than that, I mean, it's funny because I used to kid Joey. When I talked to the umpire and stuff, I said, well, I got a video of me doing the World Series you guys should watch and teach. So when I had my umpire barbecue last year at my house after the term was over with, I showed it to these guys. They were watching it, huh? They were watching it. But it's funny because nowadays you get them on DVDs. I had to find me an old TV with a built-in VHS player because back in the day it was all VHS tapes. you know. But I tell you, I got them on sale. If you guys want to see an umpire's tape, I got them on sale for $12.95. But I don't have them on sale. But anyway, I'm glad everybody came. At least did you learn anything? One thing? You guys learned one thing.
Yes.
Because as long as you learned one thing, it wasn't a waste. Good luck in your season. And like I said, you can call me, email me. And if you want some more information on umpiring stuff, littleleague.org. You got all kinds of stuff. You can even punch up Little League umpire mechanics. Stuff's online now. It's so easy to get that stuff. You know, he just turned 96, 93.